The countdown is on for this year's Solheim Cup. Team Europe are looking to become the first side to lift the trophy for a fourth successive time, but they'll have the American crowd against them. Let's cross live now to the course in Virginia and join Jamie Weir. Jamie, looking resplendent behind you there.
Yeah, absolutely, Vicky. I mean, it is stunning here on the banks of Lake Manassas here. Robert Trent Jones Golf Course. I'll spit my words out eventually. Is going to be stunning on television this week. I'm delighted to say that Amy Rogers from the Golf Channel is alongside me. And Amy, before we get into the US side of things and their preparations for this week, let's talk about this course because 9 of the 18 holes sort of hug the lake. I mean, it is stunning.
Yeah, it makes for some incredible views. It'd be easy for these players to get distracted, but it's also a great opportunity for them to kind of take a moment if they need to kind of look at the surroundings, possibly regroup as needed, but it's going to make for an incredible backdrop for this Solheim Cup.
We've been talking obviously a lot about things from a European point of view, going for an unprecedented 4 in a row, but from a US point of view, just how much is there a sort of the bit between the teeth? I feel last year was the one that got away.
Yeah, to have it end in a tie for the very first time in Solheim Cup history, you can't get any closer than that. And I think the words that Stacey Lewis has been using, unfinished business, and that's very much how this U.S. team is approaching this Solheim Cup. You know, they want to get over that hurdle this time around. Stacey Lewis very much relying on those stats, partnering with KPMG as she did last time, but has made a few changes to her lineup. 2 new players coming on board. We've got Lauren Coughlin, who earned her way onto the team, and then Stacey Lewis selecting Sarah Schmelzel. She has 6 top 10s this season, so it's really hard to ignore her. So she was a great pick, a great addition to the team. Passing over this time, Angel Yin and Cheyenne Knight. And I asked Lewis about it a few weeks ago. She said, obviously the form wasn't there for Cheyenne Knight. Angel Yin had an injury earlier this year. And Lewis said, honestly, she just had more options with pairings with these new additions to the team as well. So it'll be interesting how that all plays out with Stacey incorporating those stats that she's relied on.
And as you said, she leans so heavily on those numbers, on that data, which is complete stark contrast to Suzanne, who seems to just do it on vibes. It's just whatever her gut tells her is the right thing to do, that's what she goes with. You could not have 2 more contrasting captains.
No, totally different in personality and style. But as we saw with it ending in a draw, there's more than one way to get this done. And I would imagine Suzanne Pedersen is very much feeling like, hey, you know what? What I did last time was pretty successful. Why do I want to change it up this time? But it'll be interesting to see. They have been taking this approach too, even though it was a tie, in their social media campaign, saying they're going for 4 in a row, going for a 4-peat. So they're very much treating this like they won this last time around.
That must get under the skin of Stacey and the American girls,
This
right?
has to be some sort of gamesmanship, some sort of strategy, I would think, on the part of Pedersen and the Europeans, but very smart.
Yeah, and look, generally speaking, the US team, I think, arrive here in better form than the European team. There's a few question marks over some of the European girls. That said, they've also got some just gritty match play dogs in that team as well. So, you know, it's hard to pick which way it's going to go.
It really is, and I'm sure it's going to be close again because we do have so many players repeating. Last time there were 4 rookies on the U.S. side that played in Europe, but like Stacey Lewis said, playing on U.S. soil this time around, they might as well be rookies again. You know, it's a completely different experience. But as you mentioned, very strong team coming in. It's tough to argue when you got number 1 and number 2 in the world on the team with Nelly Korda and Lilia Vu leading the way for the U.S. side.
And the U.S. have got somebody else in their corner this week. He's a member here at Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. He actually shares a locker with Freddie Couples. That man is President Barack Obama, who met the team yesterday. We think might be here for day 1 on Friday as well. I mean, that's a good person to have in your corner. That's pretty inspirational, meeting the great man.
100%. Yeah, I spoke with an LPGA official who was there yesterday. She said it was pretty surreal to have him there in the room. We saw him especially connecting in a photo on social media with Allison Corpuz, who's also from Hawaii. So those two obviously having an instant bond. But yeah, I reached out to the LPGA asking, you know, is there a who's who, like a list of who's going to be here this week? So they said that they were working on that. I don't think Barack Obama is going to be the only star that we see out here this weekend.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, with bated breath to see who else is here. And just finally, the conditions. I mean, this is glorious. Blue sky, sunshine. There's hardly a breath of wind. It's perfect conditions for golf. And I tell you what, it's pretty nice conditions to work in as well, I have to say.
We really can't complain.
No.
I mean, there are worse places to have an office than this. But to your point, perfect conditions. No weather, really any rain to speak of in the forecast this week. Looks like temperatures a high right around 80 degrees each day. So really couldn't ask for better setup.
No, it is glorious. Amy did say that first thing this morning it was freezing. I can tell you that her idea of freezing and an Irishman's idea of freezing are very different. But at the moment, it is absolutely gorgeous out here.
Oh, it looks it. I'm not jealous at all. Thank you, Jamie.